Okay, in this video, we're going to solve some word problems and using elimination to solve them. So we're going to start on page 380 with number 32. So you're going to want to get down the main information that says supplementary angles are two angles whose measures have the sum of 180 degrees. Angles x and y are supplementary, and the measure of angle x is 24 more than the angle y. Find the measures of both. So the first thing they're telling us is we have two angles, angle x and angle y, and that they're supplementary, which means their sum is 180. So if we add x plus y, their sum is 180. The other equation says the measure of angle x is 24 more than the measure of angle y. So we're going to do this using elimination, which means you may have noticed that all elimination problems are in standard form, with an x term and then a y term and then a number. So I want to get this second equation into standard form just by subtracting y. And I would have x minus y equals 24. I'm going to place it under the other equation. And it's all set up for elimination because I have a y and a negative y. That's one y and a negative 1y. So if I add them together, I'll have 2x, the y's will cancel, equals 204. Divide both sides by 2, and x is 102. So one of my angles is 102 degrees. I just have to take that and substitute it in to one of the equations. I'm going to substitute it in here. 102 equals 24 plus y. Subtract 24, and I get 78 for y. So my two angles are 102 degrees and 78 degrees. Okay, next problem. Okay, so get this information down for the second example. Rima is older than Ken. The difference of their ages is 12, and the sum of their ages is 50. Find each age. So please write that information. So I'm trying to find Rima's age, and I'm trying to find Ken's age. And the difference of their ages is 12, which means subtraction. If I take r minus k, I'll get 12. The sum of their ages is 50. So there's my two equations, real simple. They are set up for doing elimination because I have a negative k and a positive k. I can add the two equations together and get 2r is 62. Divide by 2, and r is 31. So I have one person. I'm going to put it into either equation. I'll put it into r minus k equals 12. 31 minus k equals 12. Subtract 31. Negative k equals, negative k equals 19, negative 19. So k equals 19. So Rima is 31 and Ken is 19. And you will always answer word problems by just answering the question. Next word problem. Okay, get down the information for this one. It just says the sum of two numbers is 41 and their difference is 5. What are the two numbers? So I'm just going to call the numbers x and y. So x plus y is 41. x minus y is 5. All set up for elimination, adding together, 2x equals 46, divide by 2, and x equals 23. Take the first equation, substitute in 23, subtract, and y equals 18. So our two numbers are 23 and 18. Okay, for this next problem, please write down all the information. The length of a rectangular playground is 2 meters longer than 3 times the width. If the perimeter of the playground is 44 meters, what is the width and the length? So we're trying to find out the length and the width. We're going to start by saying let L equal the length of this playground and let W equal the width. And then we're going to draw a picture of what's going on. So we got a playground, it's a rectangle. The longer one's the length, shorter one's the width. The perimeter of this playground means that you're going to add up all the sides, which means you're going 2W plus 2L. You're adding W, W, L, and L. Okay, in this problem, it says that I'm going to write equations for the two things that it says. First of all, it says that the length, so L, of the rectangular playground is, so I put equals, 2 meters longer than, so I'm putting 2 plus 3 times the width, 3W. And so that's my first equation. My second equation is that the perimeter of this playground is 44. So 44 is equal to 2W plus 2L. So those are my two equations. And I'm going to decide what's the best method for solving this. So in several problems, you'll get a choice. Do you want to use elimination or do you want to use substitution? This one is really set up to do substitution because L is alone. It tells me what L equals. So I can just put a parentheses around that and then put parentheses around my L here and substitute in. 44 equals 2W plus 2 times, so I'm substituting this right in here, 2 plus 3W. So distributing, 44 equals 2W plus 4 plus 6W. Now I'm going to combine these like terms. 2W plus 6W is 8W. And then I'm going to subtract 4. And 40 equals 8W. Dividing by 8, I find out that W equals 5. The width is 5. So I'm going to go back to either of my equations. I'll just take this one. And the length is going to be equal to 2 plus 3 times W, and W is 5. So the length is 2 plus 15. The length is 17. So you're going to write your answer. The width of this rectangle is 5 meters, and the length of the rectangle is 17 meters. You could add them up and make sure that you do get a perimeter of 44, and you will do that with this one. Okay, sorry for the pause. Let's get down this information, if you haven't already, that last night the Booster Club sold $5 pizza for $5 per slice, Coke for $2.50 per cup. If they made $350 and sold a total of 100 items. The question is, how many slices of pizza and how many cups of Coke did they sell? So since in my last sentence they're asking how many slices of pizza, I'm going to let P equal the number of slices of pizza they sold, and I'm going to let C equal the number of cups of Coke that they sold. So they've given me two bits of information, that they sold 100 items altogether. This is going to give me one of my equations about the number of items. 100 items, some of those were slices of pizza, and some of those were cups of Coke. I don't know how many of each yet. My other equation will deal with the price of each. So because pizza sells for $5, I'm going to multiply 5 times each slice of pizza sold. And then I'm going to multiply 2.5 times each cup of Coke sold, since Coke is $2.50 per cup. And altogether, they made $350. That gives me my second equation. Then I have to decide at this point, you'll be able to choose what's the best method to solve this. So I'm going to decide to use substitution by getting either P or C alone. I'm going to get P alone. So I'm going to subtract C from both sides and get that P equals 100 minus C. So I'm going to use substitution by saying, okay, I know what P equals, 100 minus C, so I'm going to substitute that right in for this P. So I have 5 times 100 minus C plus 2.5 C equals 350. I'm going to distribute 500 minus 5C plus 2.5C equals 350. Then I'm going to combine my like terms. Negative 5C plus 2.5C gives me a negative 2.5C. And I've got 500 minus that equals 350. I'm going to subtract 500 from both sides, and I get negative 2.5C equals 500 minus 350 is a negative 150. I need to divide both sides by negative 2.5 so that my answer will come out positive, but I need to divide 150 divided by 2.5 means I got to move a decimal over, which means I've got to add 1 here. So that's going to go 6 times, and that makes it 60. So that means they sold 60 cups of Coke. I'm going to go back to this equation, and because they sold 60 cups of Coke, I could substitute in and get the pizza. So I have to answer the question. They sold 60 cups of Coke and 40 slices of pizza.